Congrats to Kirk Cousins. He's throwing a football for the Atlanta Falcons. He looks good.
Yeah, he does.
Obviously, he had the Achilles. We've seen him throw the ball in a gym. Or in a tennis court, I think, in the past.
Yep.
Now, red jersey on because he's quarterback. Don't touch him. But the arm looks alive. The balls are flying down in Atlanta. In OTAs, phase 2 are off and running. All those people watching him throw the ball are wondering how that compares to Michael Penix Jr., the number 8 overall pick. But once again, since we haven't had a chance to chat with Terry Fontenot or hear Terry Fontenot talk, we don't know if the understanding is that, 2 years from now, Penix is going to be the guy. Or, if Kirk Cousins gets hurt, we got a weapon at quarterback. Nonetheless, the world was upside down that Penix got drafted because whenever you see those videos of Kirk coming out of OTAs, that's very standard for what he operates like during the season. The guy plays good ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
He's played good ball everywhere. There was a narrative about him that he couldn't win in a big game, but if you started looking at his stats in those big games, is this Kirk's fault or is this potentially his team's fault? He would never throw his team under the bus, but you would hope that somebody would start pointing out the fact that maybe Kirk actually plays good in these big games. The rest of the team just can't keep up with him. Kirk's a baller.
Yeah.
Kirk's a leader. Kirk is one of one, and Kirk will be able to handle the situation with Penix better than most starting quarterbacks who just got $180 million to call a team their home before even getting there. But I like seeing him spin it, and I'm intrigued by this whole Atlanta Falcons story, Tone Diggs.
Yeah, I am too. Just because, Kirk, I think it's still safe to say, even though Kirk does get more flowers than he did, I don't know, say 5 years ago, he is still, I think, underrated for some reason. Maybe it's because it is a lack of the playoff wins, but that is not on Kirk at all. And I think that's why a lot of people were so upset with the Atlanta pick, is because a lot of people love Penix and love Kirk, and they would love to see both of them succeed and be on the field, at both times next season, but that's not going to happen. But I think the Falcons, I think they're the clear-cut favorites probably to win that division, them and Tampa, as far as it goes, just because of Kirk.
Even with a wasted 8th pick, which is what people say.
Yeah.
And I think that's a whole nother conversation. Could they have got Michael Penix if they trade that move back? Could they have gotten him later? Potentially. And if you trade back and get a guy, it's a whole different narrative than sticking, picking. We just paid a guy $180 million. We don't care we're doing this, even though we haven't won and haven't done anything in a long time. And Kirk has never been here, which is a whole nother added situation about the locker room, who's going to love who. Kirk has won over his teammates seemingly everywhere. Remember, we had Kirk Coach Haynes last year in Minnesota. He's going to play good ball.
Yeah, for sure. But that, to your point, and we heard the Joe Douglas stuff with him saying, hey, Atlanta was trying to trade up to 10. They knew the Raiders probably wanted him, but they need help on the defensive line. Grady Jarrett is coming off an ACL. If they would have got Latu or something like that with the 8th pick, and then you get Penix, at 11 or 12 or whatever the case may be, then I don't think anyone's saying anything. But yeah, we talked to Kevin O'Connell. He thought Kirk, if he wouldn't have got hurt last year, could have potentially won the MVP. He's coming off arguably his best season that he's had in a great NFL career.
Back-to-back years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He played great the year before too. So it's just a week removed from the draft. Again, it has nothing to do with Penix because a lot of people like Penix, but
we all like Penix.
Yeah, but it's still it makes no sense, especially when you look at that division. And the whole narrative going into the draft was, hey, us getting Kirk Cousins, that's why we are in the driver's seat to win this division. Now we just need, a plug-and-play starter maybe on the defense or elsewhere, and then, we're really set. And then they took all of that and just were like, nah, I can't pass up Penix. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Well, if Penix ends up playing more than we could imagine earlier than we could imagine because of an injury or something to Kirk, which none of us are pulling for, they'll look like geniuses.
For sure.
Football is a way of figuring itself out. We will certainly judge this as we go on.